So, hello everybody. I'll just introduce myself very quickly. I'm Shira King and I set up Abundant Wellbeing in Bridport in 1989. I set it up because I was quite an unhealthy child growing up. I didn't grow out of the asthma, and it was complementary therapy really that got me back in control of my own well-being, my own health. And I was very enthusiastic and very young, and so I was going to save the world with it, what I discovered. And I've been doing it ever since. But tonight I'm going to have my well-being coach hat on rather than talking about therapies. So the first thing I wanted to start out with was just asking a few questions. And if the answer is yes, I'd like you to put your hand up. So have you ever been grumpy? Have you ever been irritable? Have you ever been exhausted? Have you ever said yes when you desperately needed to say no? And have you had those moments of when you felt really calm and peaceful? Have you had those moments where you've been somewhere with somebody and you really laughed? That laugh that comes from the whole of your body. And have you had those moments when you feel really contented within yourself and all is well with your world? And what about really feeling yourself, knowing who you are and just being true to yourself? You're not anybody else, you're not a boss, you're not a dad, you're not a mum, you're nobody else, you're just you. Okay. So, the reason why you get irritable and tired and exhausted and intolerant is because you're choosing ways to drive yourself away from who you are. It's about letting life control you instead of you being in control of life. And when you're having those moments of peacefulness, of those moments of sheer joy because you're laughing so much and your whole body is laughing, that's because you've chosen to actually be yourself and not to let life control you, to be able to navigate life yourself. And part of my work is to show people how listening to your body and your mind is actually a way of being your own navigator. Your body and your mind being your actual compass to let you know whether you're being true to yourself or whether you're taking yourself away from your truth. So the way I do this is, next one, by this. And I hope you appreciate this slide because it took me 2 days to make. So if there's anybody here that can do this stuff in 5 minutes, and I don't need to remortgage my house to have it done, I would really appreciate talking to you. So this is how I work, and it's the rhythm, as you can see, going through the seasons. And I really work with women, and this is the menstrual cycle, going through the menstrual cycle. But what I've noticed is whether you're male or female, whether you have your menstrual cycle or not, we all have this rhythm. We're all human beings, we're all attached to nature, and we actually go through these seasons. And so, the other thing that's attached to them, warrioress and warrior, lover, mother, father. So these are archetypes. So these are just symbols of aspects of ourselves. And it just can sometimes make my work easier for people to understand those parts within them. A very interesting thing, all these, warrior, warrioress, mother, father, queen, king, sorcerer, sorceress, but lover is non-gender. Lover, whether you're male or female, is lover. And so when we talk about love being unconditional, this is what it's all about. But the one that just the one that I wanted to pick out tonight, and if we've got time, we'll go through the others, is the winter, the rest and the reflect, the saucer and the sorceress. Because this is the one that gets neglected the most. This is why we get tired and grumpy. This is why we can't make proper decisions, or we make the wrong decisions. But actually I was told there's no such thing as a wrong decision. It's all learn. And the winter for women is actually their bleed time, their menstruation time. And it's a really important time for all of us, when we get to that part, to actually take time out for ourselves. Now, women have this powerful resource. We have this resource of our own, our natural resource. So we have the physical triggers for this. So spring is when we've just finished our menstruation, our bleed. So we've rested and we've come in and we're full of energy, we're full of fun, we want to be motivated, we want to get on and do things. And then we come to ovulation, and ovulation is all about summer. It's all about that creative energy, that creative juices, wanting to have beautiful things around us. We're really in touch with all of our senses. And then mother and father, this is the time when it's a good time, actually for work time, when you're in this season, it's a really good time to have an overview of your team, to look at your team, because it's about the mothering instinct, the fathering instinct. It's about seeing what needs to be done, who needs nurturing, who needs some help, what's going on within the family. So that time is a great time to have staff reviews, have staff gatherings, have meetings and things like that, bringing your team together. And Queen and King is the autumn. So this is all about vision, it's all about structure, it's all about systems. And for women, when we're in this part of our cycle, it's about getting ready for the winter. So when you're leading a team and you need to take a back step, then you really are needing to put some systems into place to delegate, because you know that for however long you're going to need to go out. So when men come to that slump, that energy, that time that they know they need to get out, then again, they need to have a look at their team, they need to have a look at what's going on at work, and they need to put in some systems, they need to delegate, they need to do things because they know that they need to take time out. So going back to women who we've got our triggers to tell us what part of the season we're in, and when we haven't got these triggers, one of the things that I've done myself is just to make some notes. And I started off with doing little smiley faces or upturned faces, very simple, very quick. First thing in the morning, how do I feel? What's my mood like? And last thing at night, how's my mood? What's my mood like? And I do it. And then I used to use arrows, upward arrow, energy, downward arrow, no energy. Then I used to put Zs for how tired am I? Did I sleep well? Didn't I sleep well? And so forth. And then slowly you can actually see a pattern rising, and you can follow it through this. Now my late husband, he definitely had a 5-week cycle. Mine was bang on 30 days, and I was tired and clumsy when I got to coming up into that. He was a real she-devil when he came to his tired time. And so I knew that when he got to that time, and he was in his study with a do not disturb notice on, I knew not to go in there, not even to knock to see if he wanted his supper. And so working with men, doing this pattern of just making notes into their diaries or however they want to do it, and for us women who are not cycling anymore, not menstruating anymore, just making little notes to find out what your actual natural rhythm is. And then when you do that, you can actually use it for home. but it's actually quite powerful to use at work, and especially if you're leading teams of women or just teens. And so I'm very passionate about this work, and I want to tell the world. Is that it? Time